Solar panels, the truth about solar panels for commercial and residential people. Basically, solar panels harness energy from the sun and transforms it into energy, into electricity that can be used by the consumers. The way they do this is the solar panels have many small solar cells that are usually made out of silicone, and what they do is they're spread over a large area, and the more area, the more light, the more energy is produced. What this also does is it's a disadvantage for homeowners because they don't want these big bulky panels on their house, especially if they have a small house. They're concerned about the weight. But what we're really going to do is, this is a green energy. It does not pollute the earth. So this is a great advantage to get away from oil. But it does have its disadvantages, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. The first one is weather. It cannot be used in all parts of the United States, especially those states that have a lot of cloud cover, a lot of rain, because the more light, the more energy you produce. So you'd get a better reception in Arizona than you would in Seattle, since Seattle gets a lot of rain. Another thing you have to be concerned about when you get solar panels is the surrounding areas. You have to watch out for trees that block the sun's rays, other buildings, other houses, and also future developments. These could be maybe a high-rise or an apartment building that's going to be built next to you, and that could block the sun, and that would create a problem. Another disadvantage is that most of the energy is consumed around noontime when the sun's at its highest and you got maximum peak performance from the sun. But this doesn't address the issues for homeowners that use more of their energy in the late afternoons, where a lot of people are just getting home, they're doing their work there. This way it doesn't overload the systems. Another problem that we have is the cost. Usually an installation alone could run anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000. Wow. So this is a deterrent for a lot of homeowners. They don't want to do this. So this technology was actually started back in the 60s, and it's more or less gone dormant a few times, and now it's making a comeback. It depends on what president is in the White House at the time. Some of them offer rebates, others do not offer the rebates. And typically the rebates only benefit the rich, because you get like a 30% discount on the rebates. But the larger your income, the more effective that 30% is. The lower income, middle income people, it's not that great of an advantage for them. And another thing you have to watch about on the installation is you want to make sure it's from a certified company, because there's a lot of people out there doing shoddy work. They'll use whatever tools they have, or whatever materials they have in their truck when they're out doing a job instead of putting the correct stuff in. So that leads us to our next point, which is maintenance. These things are not, maintenance free. You have to go up and wash them down at least twice a year. And then if there's any serviceable parts that go bad, you as a homeowner, you're responsible for this. You have to make the repairs, or you have to call out a certified technician to come out. Now you have to pay a large service call to get these things done. The other disadvantage to having the solar panels is the financing. I talked about the $15,000 to $40,000, but that does not include the permits. That does not include the rebates from the government. On the rebates, they're very complex. They usually take a long time to process. A lot of people don't want to be bothered with that. But the final disadvantage for homeowners is the resale value. It does increase your property value, but the other thing is new homeowners don't want to buy your home with solar. Mainly because what the solar company has done is they've gone away from selling them outright, and they've gone to leasing solar programs. And what they do this way is they spread out the payments over 20 years. It's almost like a mortgage. So they advertise, you can get solar panels put in for practically zero down. Well, that's misleading. because you're not paying anything up front, but it's spread out over 20 years. And the average homeowner usually sells their home 5 to 7 years after they buy it. So now the new homeowner is not only stuck with a new mortgage payment, but he has to take over the lease program. And this is turning a lot of new buyers off to solar panels. What the solar companies have done, like Solar City and Solar Zone, what they've done is they've gone with the leasing program that is beneficial to them. They actually make more money on a lease than they do selling it outright. Because what they do is they sell the tax benefits to a tax equity company, and what this does, it defers their costs, so it actually pays for their financing over the 20 years, so they're actually making money and increasing the value to their shareholders. So what this also does is, on the solar panels, one thing we have to consider after the maintenance is actually like a depreciation. On commercial solar panels, they only generate 22% of the energy they absorb into electricity, and it's even less for residentials. They only exchange 14%, and what that's going to do is over the years, the depreciation of the solar panels goes down 1 to 2%. So after 5 years, instead of being at 100% capability, now you're down to 90%. And you have that 14% up front, now you're down to 13 or 12%, and it's going to continue to go down. So it's not advantageous to get solar panels, even though it is clean energy, because of the disadvantages to the homeowners, the new people trying to buy it, the financing, the leasing aspects where you're tied in for 20 years, and also the technology. It's been around since the 1960s. It's kind of outdated. And there's a small technology company that's already come up with new gadgets, new forms of technology that are eventually going to replace solar technology. So it's to your best advantage not to get solar because it's already peaked. It said residential homes are up to like 68% of all the homes have solar panel now. Now it's on the decline. So you're better off waiting for the new technology to come through and not buy solar panels. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. That was very informative.
Great.
Now my neighbors